Let me ask you something. How long you have been waiting to feel ready? Ready to start posting, ready to put your opinion out there, ready to position yourself as the expert you already know you are. 6 months, a year, or maybe longer. And in the meantime, you have kept learning, kept telling yourself, I will start when I know enough. I will start when I have more experience. I will start when I feel confident. I know this pattern because I lived inside it for years. And what I didn't understand, what nobody told me, is that waiting to feel ready is not a preparation. It is the trap, and it is silently killing careers that should be thriving. Here is what this looked like for me. I had years of real experience in digital marketing, SEO, performance marketing, international client work. Results that were measurable, provable, real. And I still didn't put myself out there. Not because I was lazy, not because I didn't want to grow, because every time I thought about creating the content, about building a presence, about saying something publicly in my field, a voice showed up. Who are you to talk about this? There are people out there with more experience. Why would anyone listen to you? Wait until you have done more. Wait until you are sure. Wait until you are ready. So I waited. And while I waited, I kept building skills, kept taking courses, kept getting better. And the ready feeling never came. Because here's what I eventually understood: ready is not a feeling. Ready is a story we tell ourselves to make the waiting feel responsible instead of what it actually is: fear. Let me define this properly because waiting to feel ready sounds harmless. Sounds like diligence, it sounds like humility. It isn't. The readiness trap is a psychological pattern where your brain uses the pursuit of preparation as a way to avoid the discomfort of visibility. Your brain uses preparation, something genuinely good, as cover for something it's actually trying to avoid. The readiness trap disguises fear as responsibility, and that is what makes it so dangerous. If you were just procrastinating, you would know it. You would feel the laziness, you would recognize the pattern, and you would understand the avoidance. Because the readiness trap doesn't feel like procrastination. It feels like doing the right thing. It feels like being thorough. It feels like not wanting to mislead anyone. And so it goes unchallenged for months, for years, and sometimes for an entire career. You don't realize you are stuck because you are always moving, just never forward. Now, here's what matters: this trap doesn't catch everyone equally. It catches smart people, high standard people, people who genuinely care about the quality of what they put out. And there's a reason for that. Smart people have high internal standards. They can see the gap between where they are and where they think they need to be before they are allowed to speak. Average performers don't have this problem. They post without overthinking, they share without second guessing. They put themselves out there imperfectly and build as they go. And while the high standard person is perfecting, the average performer is compounding. Imperfect and visible always beats perfect and hidden because visibility compounds. Every piece of content you publish teaches you something. Every post that lands builds a connection. Every insight you share attracts someone who needed to hear exactly that. The person who starts imperfectly today will be significantly further ahead in the 12 months than the person who waits for the perfect and starts never. Your standards are an asset, but only if you deploy them. Kept inside while you wait for ready, they become the very thing that holds you back. Let me be direct with you what this costs. Every month you spend in the readiness trap, someone else in your space is building the audience that should be yours. Not because they know more, because they started. Visibility compounds over time. The person who has been posting consistently for 2 years has an advantage that cannot be bought. They have trust, they have recognition, they have an audience that already knows, likes, and believes in them. And the longer you wait, the larger that gap becomes. The readiness trap doesn't cost you the time, it costs you the compounded value of all the time you didn't start it. There's no catching up to a 2 year head start. There's only start now, so you don't have to explain a 3 year head start to yourself later. So, how do you break out of it? Three shifts, concrete, actionable, and you can apply the first one today. Shift 1. Replace ready with good enough to help one person. Ready is an undefined finish line. You can chase it forever because it moves every time you get close. Good enough to help one person is a real reachable standard. Ask yourself this: is there at least one person in the world who knows less about this than I do and would benefit from it what I know right now? If the answer is yes, you are ready. Not ready to be the world's foremost expert, ready to be useful. And being useful publicly consistently is how you become the expert over time. You don't become noun and then start sharing. You start sharing and then become noun. Shift number two: make the publication standard, not perfection. Right now, your internal editor is running a process that was designed for the wrong environment. Perfection matters when you are submitting a research paper, when you are publishing a book, when you are filing a legal document. It does not matter on LinkedIn. It does not matter in a YouTube video. It does not matter in a post, a newsletter, a podcast. What matters there is clarity, truth, genuinely usefulness. A slightly imperfect insight that genuinely helps someone is infinitely more valuable than a perfect insight that never leaves your head. Published and imperfect always beats private and perfect. Shift number three: make the journey part of the content. This is the shift that removes the trap entirely. Most people think they need to arrive at expertise before they can share it. But some of the most powerful content in any space is not expert content. It's journey content. The person documenting while they are learning in real time, sharing what worked and what didn't, being honest about where they are and where they are going. This content does something expert content cannot, because most of your audience isn't 10 steps behind you, they are behind you 1 or 2 steps. And what they need isn't someone who has figured out everything. They need someone who is one step ahead and willing to turn around and describe what they see. That person doesn't need to be ready, they just need to be honest. And honest, you already are. Here is what I want you to do. Not next week, not when you feel ready. This week. Write down one insight from your field, something you know that someone else doesn't, something you have learned through experience, not a notebook, not a course. Then share it. One post, one paragraph, 1 minute of video, whatever format feels least terrifying. Don't edit it 17 times. Don't wait for the perfect framing. Don't ask yourself if you are ready. Ask yourself one question: is this true? And could it help someone? If yes, publish it. That is your first step out of the trap. And the step after that gets easier. And the one after that, easier still, but only if you take the first one. The silent career killer is not lack of skills. It is not lack of experience. It is the decision. made quietly, repeatedly over years, to wait for a feeling that was never going to come on its own. Readiness is not a destination you arrive at. It's a decision you make. And the people who are building authority in your space, the ones getting the clients, the stages, the recognition, they didn't wait until they were ready. They decided they were ready enough and they started. If this video gave you something real, share it with one person who has been waiting. They will know exactly who they are. And if you want to go deeper, build authority, positioning with a real system, then subscribe. There's a lot more coming.